This is the demo of Step 1 of the Evaluator Best Practices decision flow. Step 1 units defines the competitive marketplace in terms of market segmentation, market geography, market size, competitors, and competitive percent share of market, and enables you to assign the importance or rank for all market variables, key performance indicators, and the target levels of success. Clicking on the Segments navigation button takes us to the Detailed Financials home screen, where we can see the segmentation level for this simulation. The Evaluator supports up to 6 different segments, which we have chosen to represent different types of policies, such as those for Medicare and Medicaid. There are up to 4 different subsegments within each segment, which are represented here as different types of customers. For this demonstration, we'll focus on the market for individuals for Medicare. The Modeling navigation button takes us to the section of the Evaluator Modeling Decision Support module where the data is entered for Step 1. The Step 1 model allows you to provide your assumptions in pull-down menus that define on a quarter-by-quarter basis the total size of the Medicare segment of market in physical units, which we can see here, the percent breakdown by each subsegment, and scrolling down a little, the target market share for each competitor for each subsegment, as well as we can see the targets, in the overall target approach. Clicking on the Graphical navigation button takes us to the home screen of the Evaluator Graphical Decision Support module. The home screen of the Graphical Decision Support module provides access to all of the automatically generated graphics and intelligent decision support tables for all steps in the Best Practices decision flow. Clicking on the Market Dynamics navigation button takes us to the section of the screen that provides access to all of the graphics for Step 1. Clicking on the Run button to the left of the chart titled Percent Share of Market, Percent Change in Share of Market automatically generates intelligent tables and charts for this particular scenario. This single action generates 3 integrated outputs. First, the summary table, which contains all of the data necessary to generate the charts. Here, and I'll just scroll down a little so we can see all the rest of the outputs clearly. Second, the interpretation table. It describes the chart and explains how to interpret the results. And third, the charts themselves. This particular action generated 2 charts. On the left-hand side, we can see the projected share of the Medicare market for individuals for all competitors, as well as the target, and the average of all competitors. And if we scroll over to the right-hand side of the chart, we see the projected change in percent share of market from year 1 to year 2 for all competitors and for the target. The interpretation of these 3 outputs can be found in the video Step 1, Percent Share of Total Market on the Overview tab. Scroll back to the top, and hitting the refresh button returns the table and the analysis to its original format. Let's go back to the decision flow diagram. To even further help you manage decision logic for each simulation, clicking on the Logic Flow navigation button here takes you to a graphical representation of the logic triggers in the Evaluator. This graph represents all of the decisions you need to make and the logical sequence in which to make them to define the level of detail and the calculation approach you want to invoke for this simulation. The best practices steps to which these logic triggers apply are shown at the top of the flow diagram. The first 3 of these logic triggers control all aspects of Step 1 decision and calculation logic used in the model. The model automatically color codes, as we can see, this bright green path, which shows that you have chosen to display that particular path and all the other choices that are available to you. The dynamic diagram provides you with instant access to the exact point in the Evaluator modeling decision support to change the current logic trigger by clicking on the appropriate reset button. Next to the name of the logic trigger. This concludes the discussion of step 1. Let's return to the decision flow home screen.